video between actually Bitcoin, Doge, and Tel. I didn't look at the Doge chart today, but we're going to be winging that together. Um, this is the Bitcoin chart. Everything is going as planned. You know this pattern if you know my TA. This has been shown to you for a long time. The rising broadening wedge broke down. You can see where it came back. It retested and it broke down again. Right now, I believe we're in a falling wedge. Crypto Twitter is absolutely hilarious because it doesn't matter what you do or what you call, someone's going to hate it. It's just how it is. When this was around 100,000 up here, I said I thought this was going to break down. And this was double topping. People absolutely hated that. I lost followers because of that, and it broke down. And then once we fell out of this rising broadening wedge right here, I said this was going to be a retest, and I thought this was going to hit the bottom of this diagonal trend line and break down, and people freaked out at me, and I lost followers and it broke down, and that's what it's doing right now. So trust assured that I have a pretty good grasp of what's happening here, and as you can see, I think we're falling into a falling wedge pattern, right? And I think Bitcoin is trying to make its way down to this other diagonal line of another rising broadening wedge that it's been in for years. And I believe that once this hits the bottom of this diagonal trend line, I think that's going to be the catalyst for it to come out of that falling wedge and for it to start stair-stepping its way up and make all-time highs again. And I think that's going to happen. And like I said, I would say the end of May, June, but I still believe that that's going to happen. Nothing has changed for me to change my thesis on that. I just believe that we are in this. I believe that this has to come down to retest this part of what was a bull flag, what was actually, if you really look at it, an ascending triangle. This broke out. It still stayed in two patterns that it was in, but at some time, I've said I believe this pattern needs to be retested on this horizontal trend line. These two peaks right there holding up, right? So I believe that this is coming down at some point, and it's all just going to merge there. It's all going to just join here, and this is going to be the catalyst for Bitcoin to go off to the races. And I really believe that bounce is going to be something like what that bounce was. So I think that's what you're kind of looking for right now for Bitcoin. At the time, I think you gotta chill, and I think everything does follow Biddy, right? And we're gonna move into Tel, and what I want to show you with Tel is that it was in that. And right now, yesterday I did say, hey, this might have bottomed. However, Bitcoin might pull this down, right? And the gravity on Tel, and this is on the daily, is that Bitcoin could pull this down. That's just how alts work, right? Yesterday when I tweeted that this may have bottomed, it was because this was resting right on top of this horizontal support, and it was starting to hit up against this diagonal support. What you really are looking right now is that yellow horizontal trend line right around 0.0065. That needs to hold. And it could cause a wick just like it did back here, right? This could be a fake out. This could be coming here. We're going to see this try to pop right back in the pattern, fake people out, and continue on its way. That's what you're looking for Tal right now. Now, that is why I said that I thought that it had bottomed. Obviously, Bitcoin dropped as expected, and it did pull Tal with it. When I meant bottomed, I mean a micro bottom. So, I mean, a lot of people are hating on the fact that, there's been a lot of bottoms. Yeah, but right now, also, I want to say, when I was saying that this was going to pull back right here, people were freaking out, right? No, it's not going to pull back. It's not going to pull back. It pulled back. Just trust the TA at this point. I think that this is going to pull back into this and make one of these. Regardless, I don't believe really it goes below what this wick was. This blue, I believe, 0.0045 I think that's not going to be touched, but that would be some serious, serious support. I think that we're still up in this rising, broadening wedge, and I think we're just waiting for this to play out, to be honest. So that's just what I'm seeing with Tel. It did drop a little bit from last night, and let me move into the hourly just so we can see what this did. I'm going to move into the 4 hour, so it's not just such a drastic move from the daily into the hourly. But yeah, this did break down. Okay, so I'm going to tighten up some of these lines, I think. Let me pull it out so you can kind of see the big picture. There's been a couple times that it's broken down. I'm just looking for it to retest that horizontal support, and then you can see that back here. Right. There was a point when this was out of pattern and this had to retouch the horizontal support. This is touching the horizontal support and it broke back into the pattern. And right now we're looking to see if this horizontal support holds, to see if this is a fake out or not. All depends on Bitcoin. The problem is I do believe if I go back to Bitcoin, just really quick, it did break out of um, this triangle pattern. This is that double top formation that we were talking about, and every rookie that I've seen has drawn this triangle, right? But right now, like I said last night, I would let you know if it's breaking out of that triangle, and it is. And if you look at the stock RSI, which is the main reason why I'm showing you the CoinGecko chart, it's a little easier to see on this, a little bit bigger. The stock RSI is starting to come down on the daily. So this is either going to find some kind of support at 50 or this is just going to keep coming down, which kind of looks like what this is doing, right? And again, people were freaking out when I said I think this could come across and touch $73,000 and go. And the reason why this could come across and touch the $73,000 mark, I've showed you before, is because I believe that this is a horizontal support level and it's held up by these peaks here that I am circling back here, and I believe this is going all the way across, and this is going to hold it up at the 73,000. I think this is going to be the point where this, somewhere around there, could get to 70, right? But I said 73 in January, so I'm just going to keep to that thesis because honestly, nothing's changed since I saw that. I believe it's going to come down to kind of do one of those things. The stock RSI, I believe, is going to come down and get reset, and that's going to be at this point where that's going to be a catalyst to bring it back to Tel. Really, it's looking like the rising broadening wedge is starting to break down right now. But like I said, we're going to keep an eye on this because this could be a fake out, right? This could have a lot of people just seeing this and freaking out, selling, and have it bounce right back into the pattern. Um, but like I said, it depends on Bitcoin. Is this showing relative strength compared to some of the other altcoins? Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't have a ton of this, but at the same time, I don't like to see this fell. But right now, you do have a double bottom. This is why this morning or last night, I'm sorry, I wrote this could be a double bottom. This could be bottoming. People, oh, this bottom. Guys, like, where I'm on your side. If I say it's going to go up, people freak out. If I say it's going to go down, people freak out. That's what I see right now. But you will know within the next, I don't know, you'd know in the next 4 hours what this is going to do. Because if this yellow trend line does break, yeah, there's not a ton of support besides maybe the 0.006 mark, somewhere around there. Um, that's where it would come down to. But again, until proven otherwise, I think this is going to come up and try to retest, and hopefully you'll see that just moving on its way. But again, to go back to Bitcoin, it's behaving as we expected, but it's bearishly behaving. But I will say on the good thing about Bitcoin right now, this is still forming higher highs on this triangle pattern that everybody and their mother started drawing, right? Everybody's like that. But you can see where that's starting to break down right here, right below where that triangle would be, right? So, I mean, that's why I'm making this video right now, just to let you know I would keep a serious eye on that. This breaks, this is coming down hard. This breaks, this is coming down to that 73 point. 73,000 that we were talking about January and February. So just to let you know what this is about to happen. That's why I'm showing this right now. And of course, everything does depend on Bitcoin, but just because I have my homie that I said that I would do a Doge chart, I'm gonna quickly go over to Doge and see if there's anything exciting happening. So these are the lines. I haven't looked at this chart in a long time. These are the lines that I had drawn throughout. I'm going to remove a couple of them just to kind of get it. I'm going to keep that bad boy just to kind of keep this neat so that it really is showing what was happening. Now, the one thing I did see that was awesome about the Doge chart was that this wasn't a gigantic falling wedge, right? And it kind of started to either peak out, or if you wanted to take this and you wanted to extend that, it's still in. But either way, the way I had it is the way I leave it. I don't usually change trend lines to go with my bias. I try to stay unbiased. But this right now is trying to catch some support. Now it's riding that falling wedge down, and this could either be triple bottom-esque, maybe a little lower, and then starts to move on its way up. Um, or Bitcoin going down, this could keep just coming down, riding one of these. And then at some point when Bitcoin turns around, it's going to come back up, right? But right now, what I see with Doge is that this is almost a triple bottom. This has broken out of, it's a sloppy falling wedge, but it's still there. That is still there. So triple bottom. This honestly, this is the more bullish chart out of the three. And I know, like I said, I know some of these lines are chaos to you guys, but to me, it's organized chaos. Chaos. I haven't looked at this chart in a long time, but I do want to say Doge out of all of these is looking the most bullish. Is there going to be resistance on the way up? Yeah, obviously you can see this horizontal resistance from all the way back here. So it's going to be hitting resistance at the 0.195 mark, and then it's going to hit another resistance at the 22 mark. But falling wedge, this could easily go back to the top. You know, this could easily at least come up to this 34-cent mark fairly soon. So even any positivity whatsoever in Bitcoin would be a catalyst for this triple bottom. It's starting around anyways. So if you're really looking at this, I think Doge is actually a good play. I'm glad I looked at this just because, um, yeah, I don't have any, right? So I think it's looking something like that. But in that, you can see that this is starting to round a little bit. So I don't know. Doge looks like actually a pretty good play right now, but this is also going to depend on Bitcoin, and this is on the daily. Again, the stock RSI um, is showing that this is about to pull back, and it's due for another pullback. This is breaking out of that triangle that everybody's been drawing right now. This is just my thesis on what I think is going to happen, but I do believe this is actually going to pull back. It's going to pull the alts back a little bit. I don't think this is so bad. I don't think the sky's falling. I think this is a horizontal, what was resistance that needs to be retested as a support, and I think we're going to move on. So this is just a small bear market and a bull market. And on the micro, I think the macro is completely fine. And I'm going to show you on this chart again what I think is going to happen. It's going to come down here, something like that, and then it's going to move on its way, take off. Let me show you on the other chart what I think is going to happen. Sorry, it's early in the morning. I haven't had my coffee yet, but I did see that this move was happening right here, so I wanted to make this video, and the reason why I always do that. No coffee. The reason why is because I believe this triangle is starting to break down right now. At least everybody understood this was starting to form like a symmetrical triangle, which is usually a continuation pattern. Just to let you know, it's something that a lot of people didn't tell you. Oh, it's in a triangle. It's in a triangle. It is in a triangle, but it's a symmetrical triangle is a continuation pattern. This is starting to move down. It's a continuation pattern. And that's what you're going to see here, in my opinion, really quick. If you were trading this, this would be a short. I told everybody last night if this broke 85.5, I'm gonna add to my short. I've been shorting this since this move here, and I would add to it. And at 85.5 last night, I did. I woke up this morning, and of course, stop losses were put in place, but nothing was stopped out. And I believe that this is about to go down right now. So that's my decision on Bitcoin right now. It's still at 73. I'm not going to. 73,000 is the target. I'm not going to change that bias. It could even like deep down into 70,000. But again, I believe we are still full bull market. These are just little pullbacks that had to happen. Let me go back to even the weekly just to show you a different perspective. So you can kind of see this a little bit more, right? So now you can kind of see a little bit more why I think this is happening. Boom. This is making the exact move that I think is happening. I think this is just hit a double top. It hit the top of here. If I threw Bollinger Bands on this, you're going to see that this was hitting the top of the Bollinger Bands. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put Bollinger Bands on this just because I didn't use those at all today. You guys know how I love my Bollinger Bands because it shows, right? The cool thing, all right, Bollinger Bands. This was hitting the top of it right here. That's why I said I thought that this was going to pull back. It went up and didn't even make it to the upper Bollinger Band anyways, which is why that short I told you a couple months ago that I was opening. I did close that since. However, this has rejected off of the median Bollinger Band, which is the 20-day moving average, which you would see where this diagonal trend line is. It's somewhere around there. This blue 20-day moving average, it did break through that. And this is on the weekly, and it's still below that. That tells me that that is going to reject off of that and continue dropping lower. Now, this bottom Bollinger Band, I just want to they are starting to clench, right? You see where these are wide here, and then slowly they try to get closer together. It's going to do one of those things. I believe Bitcoin's going to come down here, touch off the bottom of that Bollinger Band. These guys are going to be squeezed, and that's when it's going to start doing one of those things. And I mean, we'll see. Time will tell. You can bookmark this, but this has been my thesis for 2 months now, and nothing's changed. So we're gonna stick to it, and that's just what I see. Still sideways, going down. I would put a bunch of money away and wait for a couple months because I think you're going to have a serious bottom buy, generational buy up, and I think this thing's going to go honestly, to the moon, somewhere up here around $135,000 on this next move. All right, guys, much love. If you need anything, just let me know. If you like the TA, tell me. If you hate it, keep it to yourself because no matter what I say, you're going to be a hater, right? Everybody's a couch wizard or whatever. But much love. I do this because I care about you. I want you to know where we are. And I do think Bitcoin's going to come a little bit lower. Yes, it could. We're going to keep an eye on that pattern, and I'll do a review video in the next couple days on that just to see where we're at. But much love. If you need anything, just let me know.